Hello everyone and welcome to the webinar with Blueline and Nymi. As you know from the invitation, we are going to talk about the trends in digitalization in cleanroom processes. And from Blueline, we have Jørgen here with me, who will take you through the Blueline part. And from Nymi, we have Hannah Preston, who will take the second part. And then in the end, we will have the Q&A. You can all write in the chat box. We will get all your questions. And in the end of the session, we will reply to everyone separately from the meeting here. But in the end, we will also take the most interesting topic from everyone as we think and just go through with you and see how much time we have in the end with the Q&A. So I will hand over to Jørgen so you can start the webinar.
Thank you. My name is Jørgen Røbner, and I'm the CTO of Blueline, and I have been working for the last 18 years with digitalization of clean rooms. So it's been a long journey, and it's also been a steep learning curve. So I will start with going to why digitalize. And we all know that we need to be in compliance. So compliance is so important today that we need to gather a lot of information, data from our production to ensure, but also from environmental sensors to ensure that we are in compliance. We also need to document our production, and we gather a lot of data in this process. But there's also a new trend with we have to increase production. There's a lot of we need to improve our efficiency, and one way to do it is, of course, more IT and more applications and flexibility. We also hear from a lot of customers that flexibility is important, and some of the new movements I will come into later is actually striving for this flexibility. Then we also see in areas that improving working conditions for the operators is very important, also to ensure, because they are doing a hard job all day, and they need to have some good working environments. So we can ensure that we have employee satisfaction. We hear actually from some of our customers that it can be difficult to get operators. So it's good they have very good working conditions. Last, we need to improve the quality, and all the above is actually improving the quality. Then we also have the trends, because trying to do all these different jobs also points to that we need more devices and more applications. More devices can be difficult because we don't have one device that fits all demands. But we see more that devices are getting multi-purpose. So one device can be used for more applications and for different kind of purposes. We also see that mobility, and this is where the flexibility is coming in, that we see more mobile units. For the last 6 years, actually, mobility has been a great driver. And right now, it's actually the smallest units, that's the tablets, that's getting into the clean rooms. But more mobile units also strive for better connectivity. The infrastructure has to be better. And the more data you collect, the better infrastructure you need to ensure that you get the data secure back to the backend servers. Another thing is also ease of use, because we also hear that IT can be difficult to use, and a lot of this is touch-based. So actually, the ability to be easy, that's easy to use the computers with touch, is actually also striving for better applications. So you need to, definitely we see that a lot of older applications are used in the clean rooms, and this gives a little bit of problems with the newest hardware that's touch-based. We also see that all the data collected we also need more AI. We see that edge AI, where we see small computers that actually are AI capable, that besides cameras, so you actually can make an action if you have broken glass in a filling machine and so on. So we see that more AI is getting in there. And last, we also see the augmented reality. And this is, for example, for training purposes, where you actually can combine the digital world with the real world, so you actually can learn how to use a machine. We also see that large factories are implementing augmented reality for service purposes. So you can actually find the right valve if you have to open or close a valve or have to service a certain part of the machine. It's easier to find when you have a combined digital card with the real world. Yes. Then this mobile trend. Why mobile? This is the ultimate flexibility with good ergonomics. This will actually help in improving the quality, improving the efficiency, but also improving the workers, the operators' satisfaction. So we have some statements from the industry, and one is actually that one mobile workstation can replace several fixed workstations. And this is because you can just move it around when you have a cart with a monitor and a computer, and you can just move it to where you need it. So you can actually spare fixed workstations in that way. Second, when you are making a new factory, building a new factory, or rebuilding a present factory, you can actually install the HMIs as the last part. And this is an important thing, because if you have to install them first, you don't have the flexibility to optimize the production in the same way, because maybe you find out during the build-up of the factory that you need to change the layout. And then you can actually do it easily with a mobile operator station. And last is actually the same cost. Even though the one unit that's mobile can be more expensive than a fixed unit, it's actually, if you count into all the wiring, all the strengthening of the walls where the fixed unit has to be installed, then you can actually compare the cost, and you'll have a similar cost for a mobile versus a fixed. And I think that's a very strong argument for looking at mobile operator stations. This, what you see here, is actually a lineup where you have from fixed. You can combine it. You can actually use fixed units together with mobile units and the handheld units. And we see that the in-wall units are one thing where you don't have a lot of space. Then you can install them in the walls, and you actually get very big screens. We have customers integrating up to 55-inch screens into the wall for planning purposes, so you can have a group of operators planning for a day. The fixed, and I will not use a lot of time on the fixed because that's I think most of us are used to, but we see that what you see here is actually, we also point to, we can actually have different ways of authentication, and I will get back to this. Then we have the mobile operator stations, and the mobile operator stations, they have a lot of advantages, because one of the things is, of course, the flexibility. But another thing is actually you can be mobile 24/7. And this means that one battery, you don't have to rely on one battery for a complete working day. You can actually hot swap the batteries, so you are capable of using this workstation for a complete shift. And then they can change, hot swap the battery, and then can continue for the next shift. So you don't have to have any downtime. And if you look, we can actually change the height. The operator can raise and lower the operator station, and then they can have the optimal work condition. And when you're working with the HMI for a whole complete day, it's very important that you actually have very, very good working instruction. They can also change the angle towards the light. We know that the light in the clean room can reflect in the screens, even though we have a low reflection. It's still that you can just move it a little bit, and then you have very good working conditions. Last, it's so important that we have the ability to actually adapt your clients, so you're able to install your own client in the housing, so you don't have to rely on our clients. So that makes it easier for the corporate IT. They can just check that out and say, okay, we can use our own clients. We have approved it already. Yeah. Then, of course, the latest is the more complete mobility in the tablets. We have developed a new cleanroom tablet that actually are the lightest on the market in this area, completely sealed and made for cleanroom use. And what I can't emphasize enough is that it's light, and it's so important when you're going to use it as a work instrument, as a device you have to walk around with for a complete day. Then it matters if the weight is 1.2 kilograms or if it is 2 kilograms. It's so important, and we know that the success is based on that there is good economics, because else they will simply not be used. They'll just be on a shelf gathering dust. So it's very important to test it with your operators and actually let them try it and also use it for a long time. And we see this kind of units are being used for SOPs, electronic batch records, and different kind of quality assurance, documentation of issues, support. So there's a lot of different kind of use for those kind of devices. And an important thing here is also that we have the ability to dock it. So we actually have a hub, and this is also shown on this illustration up to the right, that actually you can dock it in a hub and use it as a stationary workstation. And then you can connect it to a printer, you can connect it to a particle counter or a network, and you can charge it while it's in there. So it's a good thing. Another thing is actually also the ability to use a touch stylus like this I'm showing here, and this touch stylus is make it easy to actually make precision touches, because it can be difficult when you are using a gloved hand. So with a touch stylus you can actually be more precise, and it's clicked in place with magnets on top, so the operator don't have to think about where to put the stylus. Then you can see here there's a complete ecosystem, so it's important for us that you have the different abilities when you're going to implement this in the clean rooms. So you have also the possibility, you have the 4-port charger, you have the possibility for wireless keyboards and mouse, and you can actually connect it to different kind of units, external units. The only thing you can't do is connect it to a monitor, to a larger monitor. That's not possible at present. But one very, very important thing here, because the more computers that's getting in there, all the operators have to authenticate on the computers. They have to log in, and so the authentication part is getting bigger. So you're using a lot of time for this, and what we see here is we have actually integrated Nymi support, and Nymi is a passwordless, contactless, and hands-free way of authenticating the user. And I know that Hannah after me will tell a lot more about this technology, but all our systems are now enabled with Nymi support, and so it's an option you can actually get, And furthermore, we actually backward compatible, so we can actually ensure that we can use it for older systems, so you can get Nymi support for present systems and older systems delivered by Blue Line. So this was just a short presentation of where we see the digitalization are going, and also where we are in together with this. So a lot of different products, from fixed to mobile to handheld units, and also with a new technology for authentication that actually spares a lot of time and makes it a lot easier for the operator to authenticate and show intent. Then I will hand over to Hannah from Nymi, and she will present herself.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Hannah Preston. I'm the sales director for Europe for Nymi, and I'm not going to spend too much time. It's going to be about 5 minutes just running through some of the benefits and the value of Nymi and how that's compatible with Blue Line's devices. And I would encourage you to ask questions, and so we can address any particular questions that you have towards the end. So as you can see on the right, this is a picture of the Nymi band. It's a wearable device. It goes on your wrist, and you authenticate by using a fingerprint, and it's persistent. So once you've put the band on your wrist, say in the morning or whenever you start your shift, you authenticate once, and then that band knows that it's on a live wrist, and it will continue. So then thereafter, you don't have to touch it, because obviously in clean room environments, quite often people are wearing gloves. So before your shift starts, authenticate, and then that will persist throughout the day. And then you just simply tap to do e-signatures, to access certain parts of the building, depending on what use case we apply this to. So the way that it works is over NFC and BLE, which actually Blue Line have built into their devices. So it's a very seamless connectivity between the Blue Line devices and the Nymi band. So basically, there's no need to have additional dongles or added hardware to any of to Blue Line's tablets and HMIs. So just moving on. So the biggest use case we see in pharmaceutical is the electronic signatures. It amazes me how many passwords some people have to type out in a day, and when you combine that with your username and password, it is quite exhausting. Some people are having to put those credentials in up to 300 times a day, which for someone who's been and achieved, has got a PhD and doctor, it makes the job quite monotonous. What we found with our customers that use the Nymi band, we've got about 9 out of the 10 global farmers using Nymi in quite a significant way. Thousands of people that are using Nymi have managed to save hours, hundreds of hours in a week. And you've eliminated that sort of password fatigue. You can use it to access rooms within the clean room, so you can give appropriate permissions, and you can use it as well to log into sort of everyday applications like Microsoft and Google, or whatever applications allow for sort of password credentials. The Nymi band can surface those credentials and be used for login. So basically, you put the band on, the band knows that it's on a live wrist, you authenticate with your password. The Nymi band is an extension of you. You own the Nymi band, it's your Nymi band, and it's set up with your credentials. And then as you go through your day, you'll be signing off things, you'll be authenticating throughout your shift, and you simply tap the NFC reader, which is built in to Blue Line's device, and that will authenticate. Takes less than a couple of seconds for that process to occur. And as soon as the Nymi band is removed, so once you take your band off, that band is unenrolled. It's not unenrolled, sorry, it's unauthenticated. So if somebody else was to put their band on your wrist and try and authenticate with their fingerprint, it just wouldn't work. There's a few ways in which you can connect the Nymi band to your applications. So there's the FIDO route, which is mostly web applications, cloud applications, where they have FIDO standards already built into them. Then we have direct integrations. We've got hundreds of applications that we have direct integrations with, but it really depends on the details. So which version you're on. Some of the newer versions have direct integration, but some of the older versions may not. And therefore, where we have the indirect integration, we use middleware, which allows us to surface the credentials and integrate with very difficult systems that are usually quite challenging to integrate with. So I would imagine there'll be a lot of questions on integration, because that's always the tricky bit in pharma, where you've got older applications. So any questions on any particular applications that you're interested in, more than happy to pick up questions on that. But in terms of the sort of devices that you can apply this to, so you can apply this to your SCADA, your HMIs, tablets, PCs, and various other hardware. So there's going to be a video that will show you how the Nymi band and Blue Line work together. And again, yeah, please ask questions.
So now we are finished with the presentation, and but the important thing here is also we are here to help you. So you are very welcome to contact us to hear more. We can actually provide you both on email, but also you're welcome to call us, and we can set up also Teams meetings, so we can find out how we can help each other. So it's so important that we are here and we can help you, and we can also get you in contact with Nymi if you need to discuss parts of the projects with Nymi. So thank you. So any questions, anything, just feel free to write. The chat is open, so just come.
So we've just had a good question from Katyon. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. What if other people are close to the device with other Nymi bracelets? So the way the NFC works, it's a very sort of limited sort of surface space that it's a bit like contactless. You know, when you put your card on a contactless device, a POS device, you have to get pretty close. And so it's the same sort of proximity that we apply to the Nymi band. Does that answer your question? So, you know, it's unlikely somebody couldn't just be walking past behind you and then authenticate. You'd have to be within sort of, you know, that range of the device for that to authenticate. What if FDA approved external NFC reader for existing thin client environment? What would you recommend? I think that's probably one for you, Jürgen.
Yeah, and so we haven't heard about FDA approved readers, but there is different. kind of readers we can supply, and we also know there's others in the market. So it also depends. In the clean rooms, we definitely have the readers that's capable of surviving in that environment, also the different cleaning agents. But you also know there's a lot of NFC readers in the market if you're outside of the clean rooms. So, but no FDA, as I know.
Another question is, are you going to share the presentation?
Yes, definitely.
So, so Katja, I'm interested in your question. I'm going to follow up with you after the event, just to see, because you said that there is a risk of your colleague getting that close, and I'm kind of curious how you end up that close to each other, and take that one directly. Hannah, are there plans to have Nymi wristband also approved for European ATEX Zone 222, Zone 1, 21? That's really interesting, actually. We have an appetite to be ATEX certified, and but it's very, very expensive to do it. And so we are pulling together a sort of waiting list, if you like, for customers that want Nymi bands in ATEX environments. And once it sort of gets to a point where it stacks up for us to be able to make that investment, then we will do it. I don't know about Zone 1. I'd need to know more detail because it depends what's going on there. But and we've got customers using Nymi bands in ATEX environments in Zones 2 and 22 and 21, I believe, but not Zone 1. But they've gone through their own sort of testing and certification. So they've sort of, I can't remember the exact details, but again, I would love to follow up with you, Stefan, after this, get a little bit more detail about exactly what it is you're looking at, and then share with you some use cases of what other people have done, and then also make sure that you're on the list of people that will be informed when we get our ATEX certification.
Yeah, maybe I can chip in with something also there, Hannah, is that it's not only about the band, but also about the manufacturer of the devices, because we have our ATEX, Pebble and Fuchs and other people in the business have their devices. If they need to install flush readers like we have in our devices, they need to recertificate their devices, which is also expensive. So unless they come up and we come up with an external device who can be attached to an existing ATEX, you need both part of the.
That's interesting. We'll have to pick up as well. It'd be great if it came as a package.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if you have the band, if you cannot use it on anything, you need the reader, and that needs to be approved also and certified for that environment.
Okay, sounds like a.
So it's a little bit bigger scope, I think, than just the band with it. So yeah. Any other questions from anyone?
I think that's it.
But that's it. Then we just say thank you for attending, and if there's anyone who have some special, then come back to us and we can answer direct to everyone, and we will share whatever we have on the Q&A here, and also with the presentation backwards to people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely day. Take care. Bye.